Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for coming back to Stamping School. This is a request from Betty. She's in Texas, and she asked me if I would do a video using the Around the Bend bundle. This is in the Stampin' Up! Mini Catalog 2023, page 35. I love anything curvy, and years ago we had the Quite Curvy bundle, which had the dies with it. And it was a great bundle. I kept mine because I do love these. These are close, but they don't match up exactly. These are a little bit different, and this curve die especially does not match. I mean, it's just a different curve, although these are photopolymer, so you can bend them to kind of, go along with it. So if you missed these years ago, and there was a Christmas one that went with it, if you missed these because they're retired, then you might want to think about this bundle right here. So there's a stamp set with a few greetings in it. Hello there, just wanted to say thanks. I'm just so happy for you, and you are a blessing. And some of these. And then the dies, of course. So let me show you what those look like. So there's a really nice corner die that will work in either direction. There's little stitches, I don't know if you can see that, little stitches right here. So it can go in different corners. That's really pretty. And actually the leaves are embossed too, if I hold it up at the right angle. Can you see? Yeah, the leaves have slight little indentations embossing there. And this one is just a stitched half circle. It's kind of more like a oval, half of an oval. And then this big one right here looks like this. It has some stitching on it here, and I think this would be really fun for snowfall. I think that would be a really great accent to do different hills and things like that. And then there's a single scallop that matches it. So you can see it'll cut right along with it. So if you want to add a scallop, kind of like this, kind of add your scallop underneath it. And then the stamp sets that kind of coordinate with everything. Here, let me turn this around. So for the stamps, I like to keep these in my case. I stamp them in vellum, and then I can kind of play around with what everything fits, how it's going to look. So this is a double line stamp that matches that little circle curve. This one is a long stamp in the set that will go right into that scallop, which is kind of cool. I think that looks really nice. So it matches that way. There's a corner stamp. This just goes in the corner. And then the You Are a Blessing will fit in a lot of these. It'll go in this one. It'll go in the circle. All in all, it's pretty. Let me show you a few things that I made with it. Here's some of the other die cuts, by the way. The big flower, and there is a little circle that'll cut that out. There's a bunch of leaves, and there's this little string of hearts, which is really sweet. And 3 little flowers that are on a die by itself. It's missing, but they cut out 3 of these little flowers. And then these are a bunch of leaves that are all individual, but they're on one die right there. When I first get a bundle, I usually try to recreate something in the samples from the catalog. This one right here, I did something almost like it. They stamped that green stamp right here with the dots along the scallop. I did not. I just kind of wanted it to just peek out down here. And then I changed up the sentiment, but it goes together pretty quickly. So you can do like a nice thick card base for the white. And then 3 inches by 5.5 will give you, actually I go this way with it, like that. So the edge is down here. So somewhere in here works pretty good. And then you run that through and it cuts that out like that. Then I took another 3-inch piece of white, lined this up, and I used that long scallop die. So while it's in this position, so I kind of figure out where I want it, I kind of put it here, taped it down, and then ran that through the machine to give me the second scallop. And then I added my adhesive. Try to keep the adhesive above these holes just because the glue can come through and get a little tacky from the front. But you've got some wiggle room to play as long as this is just a little bit smaller. See, so it doesn't matter what it looks like back there. As long as this is all covered up and looks good. A 2-inch piece of the designer paper down here. This is that pretty country floral, which by the way, the punch is on back order like till April that matches this suite. I'm so sorry, I hate it, but it is not coming in for quite a while, along with the clover punch. That one also. Our punches, so hard to get them, and unfortunately they're sold out for a little while. Now, just to be on the safe side, you may want to do 2.5 inches on this. This one came out perfectly because I cut a little lower on that 3-inch piece. So this one, I got in a little bit of trouble because this didn't quite cover. See the difference? So when you cut this, make sure you cut it a little bit lower so you've got more room here, and then you can stick with your 2-inch piece here. Then I just added some little taffeta and the little hearts in the Sweet Sorbet and the sentiment. So that was my warm-up card. Then I wanted to do this piece right here. So this was my first one that I did. I did this, it's very simple, white cardstock, soft succulent, and that pretty shimmer paper, and I just embossed Your Blessing here. Very simple, very pretty. My second one, I decided to add a little bit more layers and some things to it, but I'm not sure that I like these little flowers up here. So I'm gonna try one more time. Soft succulent card base, evening evergreen, because I love how they look together. I'll put these two together. And then this layer here. So I started out with 3 3/4 by 5 on the cardstock. And then I added this die right to the corners right here. Just like that. And taped it down and ran that through the machine to get this piece right here. Before we adhere this, we want to add this pretty shimmer underneath it. See it? Oh, I love this paper. I don't know. I know I've said it several times since the catalog came out. It's on page 15, number 3, the Fine Shimmer 12 by 12 pack. You get 6 sheets. It's $10. It's pricey, but it's so pretty. With the freesia and the succulent and the gold. It's glittery, but there is no texture to it. You can stamp on it. You can die cut it easily. It's super smooth and so shimmery pretty. So we're going to take this one, and I just want this little corner right here. We don't want to waste all of this, so I'm just going to hover it over where I kind of want it to be, just like that, right to that edge there, and hold it, bring in my scissors, and I'm just cutting like that. So I just cut it, and this one will just come down like that. There it is. And we can add the adhesive to the back. Bring this back. And that way we're not wasting it, but it really picks up that shimmer right here. Isn't that pretty? Can you see the shimmer? Oh, I love it. All right, let's glue this down. There. That's the start of it. Then I want these really pretty shimmer flowers with those dies that are in there. See, they have little etching on them too. Can you see? Like little indentations on there. So I did one in the freesia, and I do want to kind of round these corners a little bit, just so it's not so flat. Just take the barrel of something round, kind of curl that up a little bit. Oh, let's stamp it first. On this one, I did You're a Blessing. On this one, I did Life is Better with You, which comes from the Happy Labels. And I just made it fit that curve. In the stamp set that comes with the dies around the bend, I'm just so happy for you. I'm going to try this one. I'm going to put the dies down like this, and I'm going to take this stamp, and I'm going to curve it around to like the dies and kind of press it down there and see if it'll hold. Yeah, pretty close. There we go. It's, you know, the photopolymers are so great for kind of bending them and making them do what you want. and then quickly put it on the block. But let me see how that fits. Yeah, I could use a little bit more curve. Let's just make it a little bit more. That looks pretty good, actually. I'm just so happy for you. I kind of want it to be, let's do it down here this time. It's a little bitty stamp, so you do little bitty taps. You don't want to go crazy on these little bitty ones. Just a little bit of ink. There we go. I did that in the evergreen, one step darker, just to make it pop out a little bit. Flowers. I've got one cut in the freesia, which is pretty. A little adhesive. I'm not going to bother using dimensionals on it. I'm going to keep it kind of flat. I'm going to put that here. And I've got a little gold dot that out of the gold paper. And then the leaves cut. Look at the little detail on the leaves. It's really pretty. Let's do that up here. Should I do that this way? No. I could cut them apart. Oh, that's pretty right there. This is what happened last time. I got to here and I thought, is it too plain? And so I added all these little cut flowers. And now I don't like it as much. I like it plain. But I do think it needs a little splatter or something. So I'm going to take my little Wink of Stella, my little glitter brush, kind of get that going and do just a few little flicks. Just a few. You know, you got to know when to walk away. Just a few little splatters. Maybe some soft succulent splatters. I've been using my alcohol markers lately to splatter, but I don't go for the ones where they flick it out of the cap because it ruins the tips. That bothers me. So what I do is I take my cap off and I take another one and tap a little, and you'd be surprised how much comes out. So just kind of give it a few little taps. And if it's too light, use the darker one. Now, if they're too dry, this doesn't work, but I am seeing some green. I'm not tapping the tip of it, just the barrel. Ooh, too much. Oh, too much, too much. Now it looks like I sneezed on it, but that's okay. Still pretty. Can you see all the little speckles? That's a little crazy. So somewhere in between nice blank white space and not so much going on is the perfect card. Maybe it's this one. I do like this one a lot with the white embossing. Anyway, I hope you guys give this a try. If you have the old dies or if you want to try the new Around the Bend, you can find it in the store in the link below in the description. It's a fun bundle. All right, we'll see you next time. See it, learn it, stamp it.